Breaking Backstage audio leak reveals shocking reason behind Raducanu's 10-word comeback. The tennis world thought it already heard every possible narrative surrounding Emma Raducanu: the meteoric rise, the crushing pressure, the sudden injuries, the coaching carousel, and the endless speculation about her future. But no one was prepared for this. Not the fans, not the journalists, not even Raducanu's fellow players. Because what unfolded started not on the court, not during a press conference, and certainly not in a glossy feature interview. It began in a dimly lit hallway beneath the stadium seats, long after the cheering had died down and the cameras had stopped rolling. And it ended with 10 words, spoken on live television, that sent shockwaves to the global tennis community. This is a story behind those 10 words, now revealed through a leaked piece of backstage audio that changed everything. A tense evening at the Horizon Open. The Horizon Open was never supposed to be a tournament of drama. It was a mid-season event, a warm-up before a bigger swing. The type of competition where players tested strategies and ironed out flaws before their real battles began. But this year was different. Emma Raducanu had returned to the tour after a 6-month break to recover her health, physical, mental, everything. She had arrived with a new demeanor, quieter, calmer, more grounded. She wasn't making bold predictions or promising comebacks. She just wanted to play tennis. Across the net in her second-round match was an up-and-coming European star celebrated for her fiery intensity both on and off the court. The match was tense, brutal, and emotionally charged. Every point felt like a collision. Every rally left both players gasping. But Raducanu, with her trademark poise, edged out a win. Nothing seemed unusual until the broadcast picked up an unexpected moment between the two players at the net. A comment, a brief exchange. Cameras zoomed in. Social media exploded. It looked awkward. It looked tense. It looked personal. But no one knew how deep the roots of that tension went. Not yet. The mysterious leak. 48 hours later, at exactly 9:17 a.m., an anonymous account on X, formerly Twitter, posted a 23-second clip recorded in the restricted backstage area of the stadium. The audio was grainy. Voices were partially muffled. But two voices were unmistakable. Emma Raducanu and her opponent. Within minutes, the clip had gone viral. Sports networks jumped on it. Fan forums dissected every breath. Journalists demanded answers. Suddenly, the harmless mid-season match had transformed into a global controversy. The words that sparked it all. In the leaked clip, Raducanu's opponent could be heard venting frustrations about the match, about pressure, about expectations. But then her tone darkened. She made a remark suggesting that Raducanu wasn't truly talented, that her success was a fluke, and, most cutting, that she would never be relevant again. The hallway fell silent. Then Raducanu's voice emerged, steady but trembling beneath the surface. "You don't know what I've been fighting through." The audio cut there, but the emotional weight was unmistakable. For months, Raducanu had faced countless accusations. Fragile, inconsistent, distracted, unreliable. No one knew the reality behind her struggles. No one knew what she endured. Not until she decided to reveal it herself. The 10 words heard around the world. That same evening, Raducanu had been scheduled for a routine interview segment. Nothing dramatic, just a short sit-down about her win. But when the reporter asked how she felt about the exchange at the net, something inside Raducanu cracked open. She looked directly at the camera, her voice soft but unshakably firm, and said, "I'm still here because I refuse to break again." 10 words. 10 words that immediately trended across the world. 10 words that resonated far beyond tennis. 10 words that hinted at a battle far more intense than anything on court. Raducanu didn't elaborate. She didn't blame anyone. She didn't criticize her opponent. She simply stood, excused herself, and walked off backstage. From that moment, the story was no longer about drama. It was about survival. Inside Raducanu's hidden struggle. In the days that followed, sources close to Raducanu confirmed what many had suspected, but few truly understood. Her 6-month break had been far more than physical recovery. It had been a period of mental rebuilding, of confronting years of pressure and expectation piled on in a way no teenage athlete could ever be prepared for. The sudden fame from a U.S. Open had put her into a spotlight that burned far hotter than she ever expected. She suffered panic attacks, sleepless nights, doubt so deep it felt like drowning. But none of this was public. None of it was visible. Not until the 10-word confession. Why she finally spoke. The leaked audio wasn't the reason Raducanu opened up. It was the trigger. For months, she had quietly rebuilt herself. New coaches, new routines, new boundaries. But more importantly, a new understanding. Strength didn't mean silence. Courage didn't mean hiding. Resilience didn't mean pretending everything was fine. So when her opponent implied she was irrelevant, something shifted. Raducanu decided she would no longer measure her worth against rankings, critics, or comparisons to other players' success. She would speak, not to defend herself, but to reclaim herself. Her 10 words weren't a clapback. They were a declaration of existence, a declaration of survival. How the tennis community responded. The reactions were immediate and overwhelming. Players across the tour posted messages of support. Serena Williams, strength looks different on everyone. Proud of you, Emma. Coco Gauff, we all fight our battles. Takes guts to say it out loud. On Jabber, comebacks aren't just physical. They're emotional. Respect. Even Raducanu's critics paused. What was initially framed as drama became a larger conversation about mental health, pressure, and expectations placed on young athletes. Sports networks ran segments analyzing the psychological demands of professional tennis. Suddenly, Raducanu's story wasn't a cautionary tale. It was a turning point, the meaning behind the 10 words. I'm still here because I refuse to break again. Fans dissected the line endlessly, but those who truly understood knew this. The words weren't about tennis at all. They were about identity, resilience, self-respect, healing. Raducanu had spent years being defined by other people, by commentators, by social media, by analysts, by critics. But with one sentence, she reclaimed the narrative. She was no longer a prodigy, no longer a question mark, no longer a headline. She was a survivor, and her journey, messy, imperfect, human, was far more compelling than any trophy. Conclusion: the comeback that wasn't about winning. The leaked audio didn't expose weakness. It exposed truth. The 10 words weren't a clapback. They were a rebirth. And as the tennis world watched Raducanu step back onto the tour, with renewed confidence, a new understanding took hold. Sometimes the most powerful comebacks don't happen on the court. They happen in the heart. And Emma Raducanu's story wasn't a scandal. It was a reminder that the strongest victories are the ones no one sees, until the moment they cannot be hidden anymore. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like, and share. Till next time.